So we just like to firstly kick off by welcoming everyone to our session this morning. Thank you so much for joining us and thank you for your time. So today's webinar, we're really calling all men who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, you know, men who are looking for more flexible time and a way to build a legacy for themselves. So for those who don't know us, my name's Kristin and this is Brandon. We don't want to confuse you. We're going to have two Brandons on the call today. So this is Brandon Benter. And soon we're bringing on a special guest, Brandon Cunningham, who we're really excited to introduce you to. So today, it's just going to be a 30-minute session. We're going to be interviewing an incredible business partner of ours over in the States. But before we get started and introduce him to you guys, I'll tell you a little bit about Brandon and I. So we live on the sunny coast in Queensland. We're both engineers. We met at uni. We love the outdoors, the travel, adventuring and going camping and things like that. But we found, this business has pulled us across from engineering. So we found that the trouble with engineering is we just, 4 weeks annual leave just wasn't enough for us to travel and do all the things that we wanted to do with our lives. And, I had family living interstate as well. So it just wasn't enough time to do all the things that we wanted to do. And we found in engineering, if we didn't work, then we didn't get paid. So we were introduced to this business about 4.5 years ago by Brandon Venter's mum, actually. And, she introduced us to a way that we could work online, work from anywhere in the world. We lived over in Canada, working for a couple of years. So it's just a more flexible lifestyle where we can help people and, do the things that we want to do in life, have a bit more freedom. So now we're on a mission to spread the word, share this message with others. And so, in the hope that we can help other families have more time and freedom to spend with each other and, do the things that they really love doing. So now I'm going to kick it over. That's a bit about us. I'm going to hand it over to Brandon here. He's going to tell you a bit more about Brandon Cunningham, our special guest, and then we'll start the interview process.
This is definitely the first time I've ever done a call with someone with the same name, so it's sort of a bit different, isn't it? Yeah. We should have done code names before.
Yeah. And that's just, our names are just kind of where the first similarity begins, because we have very similar hobbies. And so for those that don't know, I grew up riding dirt bikes. I started riding when I was 3. And I became obsessed with it. It's all I wanted to do. In high school, I kind of was wanting to do some of the high school sports like I think most boys would want. But I just had a natural knack for riding a dirt bike. And so I just rode my bike all through high school. And then growing up, it's all I wanted to do. And honestly, I don't know any other thing that gives you that same feeling. I've tried a bunch of different things. But nothing's like that. So we got that in common. My getaway is the water. Love to fish. And if I'm in the water, I'm happy. So we've got a lot of things in common. And then there's this company called LifeVantage that really kind of makes this thing very unique for us with all the things that we have in common. But I'm glad to be here with you guys tonight. I live in the States, as you could probably already tell from my accent. I live in Florida, and forgive me, I'm in the car. We just left dinner, and so I'm sorry if there's a little bit of bouncing going on, but I think the fact that I'm doing this from a car, from my cell phone, should excite you, because when I get asked to do interviews like this or presentations, I don't have to try and first figure out where I'm going to be in the world unless it doesn't have cell service. It should excite you that we have the flexibility to build our business wherever our cell phones go. And that's exciting. It gives me the opportunity to do the things I want to do. I can't tell you how many big time meetings I've done from a motocross track or from a mountain bike trail or from a boat. So it's pretty incredible. So anyway, I'll be 50 years old this year. Married for 28 years. I think it'll be 29 years this year. My wife's shaking her head. So say hello.
Yay!
So I got 2 kids. I got 2 teenagers. And all of my life grew up before LifeVantage, grew up just knowing traditional business. My wife and I obviously got married really young. And shortly after we got married, we bought our first business together. It was a friend of mine, ironically, Brandon, someone that I had met at a motocross track, go figure, that wanted to sell his business. Not to get off into the details because it really doesn't matter, but it was a metal refinishing business. It basically, we polished metal, polished brass, and I didn't even know that was a thing, but I knew he made a good bit of money, and I was interested. He wanted out because it was night work. And I soon, like 7 years later, realized I wanted out because it was night work. But at the time, it was something we wanted to do just because, I had worked for other people for quite some time. Well, from 18 to 21, so that's not too long. But 2 or 3 years was enough for me to know I didn't want to work for other people. And I wanted the ability to make some decisions on my own. And so we did that. We bought that business and began our journey through life. And we bought several traditional businesses. And that led us to 2009, just to give you a little background, guys. And if you remember 2008, 2009, that was when the financial crisis happened, the real estate crisis happened. And that wasn't just a US problem, that was a global problem. And it massively impacted my wife and I's business. And it sent me on a kind of a journey of asking myself, what was going to be next? Like, do I want to continue to do what I've been doing? And that was about the time that I was introduced to LifeVantage. And the difference between trading your time for money and building something that provides you what we know now as a residual or royalty check, it's very similar for those that are not familiar with royalties, or it's very similar to earning money through a traditional retirement type plan where, you put money into the retirement vehicle, the plan, and then eventually down the road, as you get older, that plan pays you money back. You earn a living, or you earn interest on the money you have invested. What's important there isn't so much, how much money you put in. It's really how much you can get out, how much you can get monthly to live off of. It's the residual part of it that allows you the lifestyle. So the bigger the return on your investment, the better the lifestyle you can live. The problem in many people is just that dark. Put a light on here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna head into the office and that'll be better. So anyway, the problem for me, guys, is that at 30, like a lot of people, have enough money to retire. I still have ahead of me. Forgive the darkness; it'll go away here very shortly. Just walking through the hallway. So, first thing I like to ask people is this question, guys. If today was the last day, this is kind of weird, me walking through the dark, but the lights are about to come on, I promise. Okay, here we go. If today was the last day you could ever work, like if no more work ever for the rest of your life, how long could you live on the money you already have right now? You know how much money you have invested. You know how much money's in savings. With your current lifestyle, how long would that money last? Like if you're making 50 grand a year and you have $100,000 in the bank, you got 2 years of living before the money runs out. Unless you have a residual type income coming in. That's what this is. And so for me at 37 years old, I didn't have enough money invested in retirement plans. I didn't have enough of that put away. I needed to compress time. I needed something to happen faster for me to build. So if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 40s, and if you're in your 50s and you don't have enough money put away already, this might be the answer for you. This might be what you've been looking for, because for my wife and I, in 3 years, we were able to create a big enough business with LifeVantage that we never had to worry about our incomes again. And so if you don't get anything else out of what we're going to discuss tonight, just go away asking yourself that question. At some point in your life, you're not going to either physically or mentally want to keep doing what you're doing. And how much money do you have put away? How long can you live in your current lifestyle? Because when you retire, you don't want to go backwards. Like if you're making 50 grand a year, 70 grand a year, 80 grand a year, you don't want to live on half of that. You don't want to sell your house and sell your car. You want to keep a similar lifestyle. So the question is, how much money do you have put away, and how long can you live on it with your current lifestyle? And my wife and I were able to create that lifestyle that we wanted in just 3 years, which is, I mean, it's so short. My wife and I had owned businesses for over 20 years. And 20 years of traditional business, 3 years with this company. The 3 years sounds better to me. So that's a little bit of our background. It's a little bit about why we did this. I always wanted to have more time freedom. That's why we started buying businesses. We had employees. So for those that are out there that have employees or have businesses, you know that you're probably the hardest working person out of everyone. The employees usually don't outwork the owner. If the owner doesn't show up to work, the business doesn't really work itself. And at the end of the day, if you're not out getting the work and keeping the machine running, it all stops. And so while we were making a good living prior to LifeVantage, it was still very dependent on me. And even though I'd get more employees and try to build bigger businesses, we made more money, but we were not getting to where we wanted based on that residual income that I was just talking about. So that's what led us to where we are.
Awesome. I love that so much. It really reminds me of the quote by Warren Buffett that says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's a few quotes out there. I love that one. And so then the question becomes, Brandon, like, how do I make money while I sleep? Like, most people have no concept of that. And of course, the first thing you might think of is investments, where your money's making you money. And I love that. I'll tell everyone out there that one of my wife and I's goals is that our investments equal our LifeVantage income at some point down the road, that we're earning as much money through our investments as we are through LifeVantage. But I'll just be very honest with you guys. I love working with the Australians because we're so similar in so many things, but you guys are just straight to the point. I found out, like, kind of the national folk song is called True Blue. I've heard the song. It's just about being real, right? So I'll be real with you guys. When I was 37, my wife and I had about $270,000 invested in retirement vehicles. So now I'm not talking about our house or our cars or all that stuff. I'm talking about money invested. And for most people at 37, that's pretty good. Like, I have found out that most 37-year-olds don't have $275,000 invested in investment vehicles. Here's the problem. That money was only earning me about $1,500 a month. You guys, it takes about $1 million invested
$1 million at a 6% return, which is really safe. I mean, if you want to go above 6%, there's going to be a risk of you losing it. Okay, and I hope I'm not losing anybody with the numbers, but I'm a numbers guy, I'm a business guy, and this is about business tonight a little bit. And $1 million at 6% will earn you $60,000 a year. Divided by 12 months is $5,000 a month that you can live on. The question is, can you live on $5,000 a month? And I mean, you could survive, I think. I mean, I think you could survive, but can you live the way you want to live on $5,000 a month? And the answer for most people is no. And that's $1 million. How many people you know have $1 million invested right now? And the answer is so little. But that's what's necessary. And that's the beauty of what this is. I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, but he wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad that really I suggest everybody read. And in that book, he talks about a cash flow quadrant, how 99% of the world's population only controls 1% of the money. And 1% of the world's population controls 99% of the money. And it's because of this cash flow quadrant. On one side, you either are an employee or you own the business or you own a job. Like you own the business, but it's really you created a job. On the other side of the equation is big business and then investing. What we're offering with LifeVantage is owning a business, but it's big business. Big business is considered someone that has several hundred employees. Well, we don't have employees here, but we have teammates. And so on our team, we have over 12,000 teammates around the world. And those 12,000 people that we've partnered with provide a network of entrepreneurs that supply an income through creating this network together. And so, yes, I love that quote by Warren Buffett. Here's another one, Brandon, I'll tell you before you guys can ask me another question. I'm an open book for you guys tonight. But here's the question I like to ask people, because we're having what I call right now an adult conversation. This is the conversation I really like to have with people because our product is amazing. If it wasn't for the science of our product, the significance of the product, I'd have never done this business because I'd never done anything like this business model before, but I saw the significance of Protandim Nerf 2 and I just knew there was an opportunity. But here's the quote. If you don't change something, nothing is ever going to change. Like if you guys are engineers and you love being an engineer, that's fine, but don't expect your life to change if you're going to continue to be an engineer. It's going to be a lot of the same thing. It's just going to be the same thing day after day after day after day. And I mean, you might marginally make some more money or you might get some promotions. But as you guys know, for most people, it's not enough. And my wife and I needed to change something. We own traditional businesses. We had employees. And that wasn't getting it done. So just getting another business or more employees was not going to solve our problems. And so that's why we did this. We realized if something was going to change, we had to change.
Oh, I love that quote so much. It always like so many people when you ask them, what's their retirement plan? Oh, I'm going to win the lotto. Well, have you bought a ticket? Oh, no, I haven't bought a ticket. How are you going to bloody win? So on that note, we want to ask you, why did you choose LifeVantage and what do you see the future of the LV products and business to be?
LV chose me. I didn't choose it. My cousin called me. She called my wife, told us to watch a video that was done by a news agency in the United States, one that we're familiar with. It's a big network here, and we knew the reporter. He's a famous reporter. So that intrigued me. I had skin cancer. Cancer runs in my family. And so I was intrigued by the product because I knew that I probably should be taking more steps to take care of myself. Married with kids, it was getting to that point in my life. I don't want to blame all the motocross crashes, but age was starting to catch up with me a little bit, and I knew it was time to take care of myself, and the product really caught my attention. It was affordable, cheap, honestly. And so she also said, there's an opportunity with this. I know you're an entrepreneur. I know you own some real estate. I know you own some businesses. You ought to take a look at what this company is doing with this business model. So I didn't find LifeVantage. It found me. And I will tell you that I was scared. I was nervous. Like, I'd never done this. Have you never done anything before? So Brandon, like, people ask you all the time, well, how do you do that triple jump? Well, the first time it's really scary, but after you've done it 10, 20, 30 times, it's not so bad. And so same thing, like, we love spearfishing. And I know there's a lot of people that are fearful of sharks, like so fearful of sharks, they'll never get in the water. And I've learned that through experience and proper training, I'm okay in the water with sharks. There's a limit. I mean, if this turns into a little feeding frenzy down there, I'm going to go ahead and get in the boat. But my point is, there's fear in everything you do. And I was fearful of this. I was fearful of failing. I was fearful of what my friends would think. But here, you got to go back to what I just said, guys. Nothing is going to change unless you change something. So even though I might have been scared, even though I'd never done this before, I needed to do something different. And different is scary a little bit. Different is a little bit unnerving. But at the end of the day, I'd rather try things and fail than live a life of regret and just wondering what if. See, that's what you really need to ask yourself. The guys and the ladies and gentlemen that have introduced you to what we're doing, you need to ask yourself, what if? What if this product is for real? What if this company is for real? What's the possibilities? And that's what I did. I just started wondering, what if this is for real? And so it found us, and my view for the future of LifeVantage, it's really hard to put into words, because for many years we had just a U.S. business. In fact, I remember meeting Charlotte Venter, who is an incredible woman, an incredible leader. I love Charlotte to death. Just a great family. I remember meeting her in Australia, and just imagining how great it would be, someday to have a business, personally, for me to have a business in Australia. Backing up just a few years ago, our business started to expand into Europe. It started to expand into Canada. It started to expand into Central America. And now it is over in Australia. And so my vision for this business was so much smaller than what it really is. For those of you that have never had a global business, I can tell you how exciting it is for me to go to bed at night, and when I wake up the next day, my business grows while I'm sleeping. It's quite amazing. Here's also what I have found, guys. When I travel to Australia, even though we talk a little different, we all want the same thing. When I travel to Japan, we talk different, but we want the same thing. When I go to Europe, Spain, we talk different, but we want the same thing. We want more choice in our life. That's what everybody wants around the world. Everybody around the world wants to be able to make decisions based on what they want, not based on money. So many people have to make decisions based on money. Where they're going to live, that's based on money. What they're going to eat, that's based on money. Where they're going to vacation, that's based on money. What kind of health care they're going to get, that's based on money. Where their kids are going to go to school, that's based on money. Everything revolves around this crazy thing called money. It's why people become obsessed with it. In reality, don't obsess over the money. Obsess over being able to put yourself in a position where you don't have to even worry about the money. In my opinion, guys, when you don't have enough money, all you think about is money, and it's not healthy. But once you have more money than you need, you don't think about money anymore. And that's the future for life. That's what I want for more people. That's why I'm still doing this almost 12 years in. I want more people to be able to have what my wife and I have. And this business isn't for everyone. It's not. But it was certainly my way out. I know it works because it's worked for me. It's worked for you guys. It's worked for Charlotte. It's worked for many people around the world. So the question just becomes, if you're not happy doing what you're doing, you're going to have to change something, and this might be it.
Oh man, it drives me nuts when I see like people in their younger years working so hard and like throwing away all the best years of their like health and like fitness and everything just to sit in an office and not go explore and do what we were meant to do. They're all just stuck down working for this retirement date that they may get one day, that when they get there, they can't even go hike the mountains that they always wanted to hike or whatever, because they're too old and frail by that point. That's really one of my drivers.
Yeah. You know, I am almost 50, as I told you. And after 15 years of not riding dirt bikes, because I did race at a high level, and I just didn't want my son to do that because it's a pretty gnarly sport. But he wanted to ride. So after 15 years of not riding, I'm riding again, and I'm riding bikes on tracks. And I can't tell you how liberating it is to be 50 years old and riding dirt bikes like a kid, and fishing. I love to fish. And so, yeah, while you still can, why waste the best years of your life just chasing money? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. So in closing, we know that many men carry the responsibility of providing for their families, and sometimes it becomes a burden. What would you say to other men that are thinking about following your footsteps, but they're fearful for various reasons?
Yeah, it's a big step. I can tell you guys that when we first got involved with this, because you do have that burden providing for the family, I was scared. Like, you know, am I wasting my time with this? Should I be spending my time over here in real estate, which was what we were doing, and the car business before this? We bought and sold a bunch of houses. We had 13 houses when the real estate industry crashed back in 2008, 2009. So all those years of landlording and flipping houses and fixing houses was wiped out in about 6 months. So yeah, it was scary to do this. But I will tell you this, that that burden doesn't go away unless you do something about it. And so I think that's why most people continue just to do what they do, is they're scared of doing something different and maybe being wrong financially. But the reality is, to me, that that burden, when you're able to remove that burden financially, where you know your family is good, it's one of the most incredible feelings I've ever experienced in my life. To know that we've built a financial fence around our family. So we were affected by the 2008, 2009 financial crisis, but COVID that just happened has affected so many people around the world financially. People have lost jobs. People, it's been a really big challenge for people. And while it hurts my heart to see people going through that. Fortunately, because my wife and I made a decision 11 years ago, last year didn't affect us financially. In fact, our business grew. Why? Because we happen to have a product in the health and wellness space, and people are pretty concerned about their health and wellness these days. It's a good business to be in. And removing that burden as an adult, it's the most incredible feeling, because you get to live like a kid again. Like you have the knowledge of an adult, but you can live like a kid again. You can, if you want to stay up, you can stay up. If you want to sleep in, you can sleep in. If you want to go fishing, you can. And you can schedule your whole day, not the other way around. So we've built a business where we control the business, not the other way around. And I hope for everyone that they get to experience a life without the burden of providing financially by trading time for money. that they are able to build a network with us of using a product that the world is going to find out about. And when they do, they're going to purchase it every month. We have over 100, and I think we're closing on 130,000 customers around the world that use this product. And when they use the product, the company sends us a little bit of money. But just think of that. Like, what if I only made $1 on every bottle that gets purchased around the world in our group? And there's 125,000 customers. I'm not saying that's the money I made. And not all of those people are active every month, but what if it was half? If it's 125,000 people, what if it was half that bought every month and you made $1 on every bottle? Are you okay with that? I mean, I think that would remove the burden for most families.
It's so true. Far out. Something to really think about. I love being able to like choose our schedule so that we can work around things. And if there's something that's really important to us, that we can go and see it. We don't have to put leave in with our boss or, oh, sorry, you're out of leave days. It's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, Brandon, what would you say, you know how traditionally men, you know, carrying the burden, providing for the family, if someone is looking at this opportunity, but, you know, they're working full time, would you say they need to take the leap across, or can they sort of build it on the side for a little bit, or what would you say to that?
Oh yeah, good question. My wife and I had six corporations when we signed up with LifeVantage. 3 in real estate, 3 in the automotive industry, and we had employees. Like, we couldn't just drop all that. We had to keep running those businesses as we were building our LifeVantage business. We built it side by side for 2 years. 2 years in, we were making as much money with LifeVantage as we were with all those other businesses. So basically our income doubled, right? Because we're making the money over here with our traditional business, and we're making the money over here with our LifeVantage business. But our LifeVantage business was growing much faster than the other business. It was much more fun. Like, if you consider this work, this is how we do this. And so we decided that it was time to make a decision, and we started selling those other businesses off. But I'll tell you how it started. So when I first signed up, I had about a 45-minute drive to work. So some of you might be able to relate to that. You got to drive to work. And I love sports. I'd listen to the radio. I'd listen to sports radio. And what I simply did is, instead of listening to sports radio on my drive to work, I would make 3 phone calls. I'd call 3 people I knew on the way to work. And on the way home, I'd call 3 more. And I did that every day for about 3 months. And that's how I launched my business. Within those 90 days, I had found a few people that saw the significance of the product. They saw the vision of the business opportunity, because people were going to take the product. Like, I tell people all the time, like, when COVID happened, there was a big demand for mask and hand sanitizer. How would you have liked to have been the only people in the world? Like, if there was only one person in the world that could sell mask and hand sanitizer, do you think you could have made some money? You'd have just made so much money. And by the way, you would not have felt bad about it. You would have felt incredible, because you were helping humans. You were helping your neighbors. You would have felt incredible helping your neighbors, and you were making money. That's what we're doing here. We've got a product that will absolutely work 100% of the time. It reduces cellular damage in the body. Cell damage is what leads to every disease you know. Every human needs to take this product, just like every human needs to wash their hands and protect themselves. And we're the only company with the product. We have patents. No one else has it. Do you think you can make some money with that? Yes. Oh, and the product, it's affordable. And there's a money-back guarantee. And there's free shipping if you buy enough product. Like, there's so much lined up that I found a few people on those phone calls that saw the vision. Okay. And when they saw the vision, we ran together. They told some people who told some people, and we found a network of entrepreneurs that wanted to change their life. And I, much like you just asked, my invite, guys, was, hey, if you listen, I'll end the call like this. You know what you've done the last 5 years of your life. If you repeat the last 5 years for the next 5, so in 5 years from now, you're doing the same thing. You know what you've got the last 5 years. Okay, maybe you've got a little bit of a raise. Maybe you've made a little bit more money. If you repeat those 5 years, are you going to be happy? Are you going to be where you want to be? And the answer for most people is no. It's not enough. Maybe I'm making a little bit more money. Maybe I got a little bit more freedom, but it's not enough. So if it's not enough, you're going to have to do something different. Don't do what you did the last 5 years. You're going to have to look for some opportunities. Hey, if you can find another opportunity where you can partner with a publicly traded company that's got proven products and a proven comp plan, then go do that. But I don't think you're going to find it. I don't think you're going to find a product like this, and I don't think you're going to find an opportunity like this. So join us. Join us, and I think you're going to find really quickly that there's a lot of people just like you in this company that you can run with, we can have fun with, and get your family what you've been wanting, more choices.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon. We'll wrap it up there because that was just a beautiful finish.
Well, we don't really want to. But.
Yeah, we could talk to you all day, honestly. We could just like.
I'm so sorry about the car ride and the dark walk through the hall. I'm sorry about that.
You're right. It just proves that, like you said earlier, this business is real and you can do it anywhere from your phone, which is just, magical. So thank you so much for your time, Brandon. Thank you everyone for tuning in, whether it be live on the Facebook Live or even watching the replay later on. We're very grateful to have you here. And if if this is something that you're thinking about doing, if you need to make a change in your life, then I implore you to truly consider it. And get back to the person who invited you onto this call, and they'll help you get all your questions answered. Alrighty.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.